Let's walk through the steps of installing exterior wood shutters. This guide is the second in a series that starts with measuring for solid wood exterior shutters. We will begin with instruction of how to install wood shutters with functional hinges, and then proceed to explain how to install wood shutters with fixed mounting brackets. For installation, you will need the listed items. Additional resources may be required. Unpack and inspect the shutters immediately after delivery. If your installation will be delayed, store the shutters upright and angled against a wall, staggered with space in between. Painted shutters arrive with the finish applied to all surfaces. Unfinished shutters will need to be primed and painted prior to installation. The solid panel of raised, flat, or shaker styles is constructed out of composite for long-term stability. Temporarily, hold one shutter up to the window where it will be installed. The shallow window in this video necessitates the shutters be installed in front of the window. The placement will have been determined in the measuring process. The top rail of louvered shutters will be smaller or of equal size compared to the bottom rail, with the louvers pointed down in the closed position. We recommend marking hinge locations on the shutters with painter's tape to avoid any mistakes or mix-ups. Remove the shutter and lay horizontally on a table or sawhorses with the side that was facing out, now facing up. Position a hinge on the outside edge of the shutter centered on the bottom rail. Mark the screw locations with an awl. Pre-drill each location with a 1/16 inch bit at a depth no more than the length of a screw. Fasten screws through all holes. We are installing using cast iron, New York-style L-shaped hinges with plate mount pintles. Then, position and secure the top hinge using the same steps. Return the shutter into the closed position on the window with an assistant to help stabilize the shutter. Align and raise the pintle through the barrel of the lower hinge and mark the bottom screw hole. Insert and tighten a screw through the pintle plate at the marked location. Some materials may require pre-drilling. Return the shutter to the window, resting on the bottom pintle. Level the shutter, position the upper pintle, and insert a screw through the lower hole. Now, carefully swing the shutter partially open and lift off of the pintles, making sure not to alter their alignment. Fasten the remaining pintle screws. Uneven siding may require a shim to support the pintle plate. Return the shutter to the window for the final time. Place sticky furniture pads on the center edge of the first shutter to create roughly a 1/4 inch gap. Any number of items can be used to create an even space between shutters. Attach hinges to the second shutter and raise into place. Align the shutter with the first and push firm against the spacers. Secure the pintles to the house using the same steps as the first shutter. Shutters that nest inside of the window opening can be installed using a similar method. Place all shutters in the opening with shims along the perimeter and between the panels to create even spacing. Attach the hinges and fasten the pintles to complete the installation. Shutter dogs hold shutters in an open position. Swing the shutters wide and locate a point about a quarter of the width of the shutter from the outside edge. Then measure below the bottom edge just enough for clearance when the shutter dog pivots. Pre-drill a hole to accommodate the shutter dog mounting bolt. Tighten the bolt just enough so the back of the shutter dog meets the shutter face in a full open position. These iron scroll shutter dogs revolve to release the shutters to pivot closed. Attach the opposite side shutter dog to complete the hinged installation. The polycarbonate brackets used for installation of wood shutters in a fixed position are V-shaped. One side attaches to the building and the other to the top or bottom of the shutter. Long stainless steel screws affix the bracket to the structure and shorter screws stabilize the shutter. Begin by drilling 2 1/4-inch holes on one edge of the bracket, each 1.5 inches from either end. Then turn the bracket and drill 2 more holes on the other edge, each 1.5 inches from their respective ends and slightly toward the front lip. Temporarily, hold one shutter next to the window in the intended location. Place a bracket in an inverted position under the bottom of the shutter with the wall edge up. The bracket may be slightly shorter than the width of the shutter, so it should be centered. Remove the shutter and horizontally rotate the bracket a 1/4 turn up. Mark the siding through the hole closest to the window. Remove the bracket and pre-drill the whole location on the wall with an 1/8-inch bit, about 1.5 inches deep. If installing to brick, use a 5/16-inch masonry bit to drill a hole deep enough to accommodate a number 10 screw anchor. Place an anchor into the hole and tap flush with a hammer. Alternatively, tap-con screws may be used to secure the bracket to masonry without a wall anchor. Insert and tighten one of the longer screws through the bracket and into the pre-drilled hole. Place a level on the lip of the bracket and rotate to horizontal. Mark, pre-drill, and screw in the bracket in on the side furthest from the window. Lift and rest the shutter on the bracket and push it as far back against the wall as possible. Place an inverted bracket on top of the shutter with the wall side down. Remove the shutter. Rotate the bracket down and mark the hole position closest to the window. Pre-drill the hole and tighten the first screw into the house. Level the bracket, mark the second hole, pre-drill, and screw in the bracket in on the side furthest from the window. Lift the shutter back into place. There should be some tension between the top and bottom brackets. If installing next to trim, allow for a slight air gap between the trim and the shutter. Mark the top and bottom of the shutter at each hole location. Remove the shutter and pre-drill at each point using a 5/32 inch bit at least 1 inch deep. Do not skip this step. Failure to pre-drill the shutter can cause the material to split. Finally, replace the shutter, align the holes, and insert the 4 short screws. Make the final turns with a handheld screwdriver to avoid over-tightening. Repeat this process on the opposite side shutter and stand back to admire your work. These same steps for installation can be used for most exterior wood styles, including louvered, solid panel, and board and batten shutters. Shutterland is committed to helping you select the best exterior shutters for your windows. Visit us at shutterland.com to view our full range of styles and materials, along with detailed specifications, pricing, and ordering. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for great tips and helpful information about exterior shutters.